Welcome to the Lead Pedal Podcast with your host, Bruce Outridge, where he talks all things trucking. Now let's get rolling.
Hey everybody, how are we doing today? Welcome to another edition of the Lead Pedal Podcast. This is episode number 1182, and of course today we are continuing on our theme for the month of February with business and owner-operators. And today we're going to give you some ideas on how to save some money on fuel, something that we're always looking at, whether you are an independent owner-operator or maybe you're working with a fleet. How can you save fuel? These might be some questions you want to ask. But before we get to that, let's just talk about a fleet right here, Bison Transport. They have some of the safest people around because they give them the right to decide. That's right, you can have the right to decide and shut down anytime that you feel necessary, whether it's for illness or weather-related or maintenance-related, anything like that. They won't ask questions. You just say, hey, I got to shut down. Things aren't going the way I planned. And they'll say, let us know when you get going again. And that's the power of the Right to Decide program. And that's why so many of their drivers are making big money, because they get a great safety bonus, about 15% above their salary. They're making a safety bonus. So that's why these guys are very, very happy over at Bison. So you want to go there. Try bisondriving.com if you want to get into that. That is certainly where you want to go. And today we're going to give you some ideas on how you can save fuel. As you know, fuel is probably one of the biggest expenses that an owner-operator has, and trying to manage that is a skill to be dealt with. There's very few people that actually, and again, it comes down to more than just the way you drive, but the kind of equipment you drive and where you go, and all of that kind of stuff is something that a lot of people struggle with, and it's not from the faint of heart, and it really takes some planning. I know Jamie Hagan, if you know Jamie, he's an owner-operator on Twitter in the States. He's been on our show before, and if you follow him, he's very good at watching his mileage, and he's been buying newer Mack trucks is what he's into. And that's kind of how you have to do it. You have to sometimes think, how can I save on fuel in this world? Now, a lot of places, if you operate on the fuel card for your company, if you're with a leased company, they'll probably give you a fuel card, and a lot of times they've negotiated a better price on the fuel and how that's going to work for you. And so you want to make sure that you are using that whenever you can, because even a couple cents can save a lot of money over time. Of course, slowing down is the big thing, right? You're going to save big money just by slowing down and wondering how you can save money with all of these kind of things. And for every kilometer or mile above 55 miles per hour, you're basically just sending it out the stack. So you really want to make sure driving efficient equipment. We all love those old trucks. Trust me, I'm a real lover of those old trucks. But if you're driving something old and you're doing it, a lot of people have that just as their show truck. That is not the truck they drive, because that truck would not be fuel efficient on the road today. So you really need to think about what you're doing, how you're doing it, and why you're doing it, and then go from there. And that's going to be the secret to being fuel efficient. But before we get into that, let's just talk about, I want to just talk about Driver Verified, and I'm going to play an interview with Robin Zhu that I've got here. If you don't know about Driver Verified, they're an online profile for the transportation industry. So what you do, no more paper resumes. We're in 2024, people. You need to go over there. You need to create a profile. You can put your awards. You can put your employment history, all of your credentials, whatever you want. You put in there. It's verified by the insurance people, so that when you get a job, people know that you're really who you say you are. And it's also searchable, so it's a way for people to find you, which is very, very cool. And that's how you want to do it. So what we're going to do is, before we get going here, I'm going to, right after this, we're going to play a interview with Robin Zhu. Robin's the fuel master over at Bison Transport, and he handles all the fleet fuels. And he's going to offer some tips for those of you that are maybe leased onto a fleet on how you can save some money. Here we go.
By far my favorite station.
You're the best. Oh, yeah.
I love you guys.
Thanks for listening. to share the podcast on your favorite social media channels.
All right, here's our interview with Mr. Robin Zhu of Bison.
And also you do some IT projects. So example would be that several years ago, we launched this Fuel Advice. It's an in-house program similar to the Fuel Optimizer in the market, I guess. But what it does is really just, tell the driver on your way, here's all the fuel stops and here's your price. But in addition to that, here's amenities, right? There's a restaurant, how many parking spots does it have? Does it have a DEF? Things like that.
So you're giving them all the insider information that they need so they can plan their trip effectively and know where to stop and where to go. I see that working for your corporate guys. What about the owner operators on your fleet? Are they following that? Do they go, hey, you know what? Follow this practice. It's going to save me some money. Or are they just, no, I'm fueling where I want to fuel? How does that work?
You know what? That's a good question. So for owner operators, their fuel card is open everywhere, right? So they can fuel wherever they want. However, I would say most owner operators follow Fuel Advice very, very well. It's a surprising number because we have seen owner operators came on board, they don't really know about this. And after they figure it out, the saving is very significant, right? We've seen some owner operators that can save up to $3,000 a year just by making a very conscious fuel buying decision.
Yeah. And that's the thing about fuel that messes everybody up. You just by saving, slowing down, let's say a mile, a kilometer per hour, mile per hour, can really extend, and getting better mileage can really change how much money that is in your pocket at the end of the day. So you're really helping a lot of people. How did you get into this role? How did you get into being the director of fuel? Have you always worked in the fuel industry? Have you been in the driving industry? How'd you get there?
Yeah, so I actually graduated from the University of Manitoba in Winnipeg. So back in 2012, well, it's about 10 years ago. Okay. And then I started applying for jobs and all that, right? I graduated with a supply chain major, and the Bison Transport was sort of, one of the biggest, right, in Canada and in Winnipeg for sure. So I applied a couple of positions there, and then got in as a summer student doing some data entry job, and then sort of in the middle of that term job, there was an opening for the fuel department. That's how I got in. So it was about 10 years ago. Then moved from, that's called corporate service assistant at that time. Then moved to call it, junior business analyst, and move out from there basically.
I'm surprised you still have hair at the price of fuel today. Have you not been pulling it in? It's got to be crazy, the size of Bison.
There was more.
Yeah. I'm surprised you got so much because I know what you must just be going, oh my gosh, it's going up again. How do you keep these things at bay? How do you were saying that you kind of align your fuel stops where there's other services for the driver, but it comes down to price at the end of the day. And how are you, what are you guys doing to keep prices at bay? You can't control fuel prices. Even if it's a discount, you still have to pay the markup or what have you, right?
Yeah. That's a very good question. I definitely have more hair, several weeks. So one of the things, we have with our customers, right? Most customers, they provide us a fuel surcharge. So that fuel surcharge, different customers have different programs, of course, but most of those is based on a fuel index. So when fuel price goes up like this, we will receive more fuel surcharge. Now, the thing is, the fuel surcharge is not always fair, right? So we could be running in Western Canada, spending way more on fuel, but we're getting some fuel surcharge based on Eastern Canadian price, which is lower. So it's not fair, but however, at the end of the day, it does cover some of our increased cost, right? Okay. So that's for sure. In terms of, what else do we do, right? Like you said, we can't control fuel price. And a lot of times we have limited control over what customers' fuel program look like, right? They can say, hey, here's my fuel surcharge program, take it or not. But what we do is we actually try to negotiate discount, as much as we can with our suppliers. And we get a lot of help from our drivers and owner operators too. Because at the end of the day, if you tell a supplier, say, hey, whoever, I need a little bit more from you, their response, okay, what do I get out of that, right? And it helps when we say, okay, give us X cents extra, and you get X volume, right, in return, and our drivers help us deliver that, and that really helps. And we've built a good reputation with our suppliers as in the past years. So when we say something, we usually deliver that. Again, right, with all the help from our drivers.
Yeah, there you go. So there's some fuel tips from Robin Zhu. Robin's with Bison Transport and well respected in the industry. We're going to help you, those that might be totally independent owner-operators running under your own authority. But before we do that, I got to tell you about Driver Check, because they're one of our sponsors of this episode as well. And Driver Check has their summit, the Fitness for Duty Summit every year. This time it's going to be in Alberta in October. But it's a great place to help keep your workplace safe. Of course, they handle all the drug and alcohol testing for many people in the transportation industry. They're into cognitive testing. They're into, they were into COVID testing when COVID was there. So they are really have a lot of things that can help you from an office standpoint, workplace standpoint, to keep safe. And so check out Driver Check at drivercheck.ca. That's where you can go and you can find out all the information. I would highly recommend you go to their Fitness for Duty Summit, especially if you have questions about how to keep your workplace safe, because they do that all the time. And now we're going to talk with Robel Hale. Robel is with Portland Fuels. Now, Portland Fuels is a special program where you negotiate your price and you know what it's going to be for a long period of time. So let's get into this interview with Robel that I did before at TTSEL conference. Program where they know what their fuel is going to cost, no matter what the price is at the pumps. They know what the price is going to be. Now, I thought this was a pretty unique program when I first heard about it. Don't understand why more people aren't on it. We are so I wanted to hear more about it, and it's great that Robel reached out over the two-day conference. We tried a number of times to get together. We finally got it done almost at the very end. Thank God for a snowstorm. So anyway, here's Robel. He's with Portland Fuels, and let's find out all about this unique program and how it can help you, the owner-operator, save some money. Hey drivers, are you getting tired of trying to update that old PDF paper resume that you have? You want to apply to different companies. Maybe you want to show off some of the stuff you've had, like the trucks you've driven or pictures or whatever. You know what? You can't do that on a resume anymore, but you can do that at Driver Verified. Driver Verified is a platform that allows you to create your own unique profile and share your expertise easily with potential employers, insurance companies, anybody that you wish. This thing is so slick. You'll be able to update it. It's free to try. And you know what? Now you've got something that can be updated. You don't have to go back and wonder, where did you put that paper copy? The cool thing is companies can get this as well. And you know what? One of the best ways to be find new employment and find things that are really cool for you is by a company searching you out as opposed to you searching out a company. So why not try Driver Verified today? All you got to do is go to driververified.com and give it a try. It's free to try. You can create a free profile and you can even get a free report. And by the way, if you were talking to the team over at Driver Verified, make sure you tell them that the Lead Pedal podcast sent you. All right, everybody. Talk to you soon. See you on the road. All right, I'm here with Robel, and what's the name of the company? Portland Fuel. All right, so I met you guys a year ago, I guess, almost a year ago. But are you operating by yourself, or just tell us about how long you got in the transportation industry, that kind of?
So personally, I've been in the transportation industry for 4 months now. 4 whole months. So I'm pretty new.
Lucky you.
In the previous life, I was a maintenance planner up in Northern Ontario. Okay. So it's quite a career change. Yeah. But I'm here because I want to be here, and I think I can make a difference. So, yeah.
Okay, so tell us about Portland Fuel. You're holding the mic,
So Portland Fuel is a company that was first started in the UK in 2009, and their business has expanded since then into Germany, North America, especially here in Canada. And what we do is we are a diesel hedging provider. So we help companies fix their fuel costs and help them budget accurately. Yeah.
Okay. Now, I remember talking to your team last year, and I was amazed at this, and I'm amazed how many people aren't on it or on it. I don't know how many customers or clients you have, but basically what you're doing is you offer a fixed price, and whoever signs up, owner, operator, fleet, whatever, pays that price to you guys. But Fuel's doing this. How are you guys managing to do that? Like, that sounds crazy.
I mean, especially since the Russia-Ukraine crisis, prices have been so volatile with a 10-cent differentials on a daily basis. So I think it's imperative for companies to get their fuel costs under control. The way we do it is we deal with futures contracts. And we work as a middleman, we aggregate volume, and we trade futures, which allows us to fix futures, fix fuel prices in the long term. Banks also do hedge, but banks are looking at massive volumes, 150,000 liters a month type volumes. We serve a niche. We provide hedging for smaller to medium-sized businesses as well at competitive rates. So we have no minimum volumes. And the way it works is you would continue your fuel operations as before, nothing would change, but we settle financially at the end of every month. Yeah, to bring you back to where we lock in.
Let me make sure I explain. This is for me, not for you. I know you don't know your stuff. All right, so I'm going to keep buying fuel. Let's say I'm an owner operator. I sign onto your program. I'm going to buy fuel as I normally do at the truck stops I normally do. At the end of the month, you're going to see how much I paid, how much I should be paying based on your program, and give me the difference. Is that how it works?
Well, we lock in a rate before your hedging period starts, and now we have the ability to fix against your local rack. So whether it's Winnipeg, Saskatoon, or Toronto, we can fix against that. Once we have that rate, at the end of that month, we take the average of the rack price for the month because that's publicly available on NRCan. And the difference between the average rack price that you paid for the month and where we locked in is what I'll be reimbursing you. As for volumes, it's up to the customer to choose to nominate how much volume they want to fix. So if you're a client, for example, and you say, I use roughly around 40,000 liters of diesel a month, you may feel uncomfortable hedging the entire 40,000 because you may use less or more. You probably might start hedging 25,000, right? And we work from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. You must be a mathematician, investment, finance guy all in one, right? You got to be to figure this out. It's got to be a lot, right?
Well, we have a trading desk for all that. Okay. So the traders deal all these sort of the nitty-gritty details. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely very mathematical. It's also about risk management because when we take on the risk from our clients, we're essentially allowing them to fix a price as a certain snapshot on the market, and they're not exposed to market anymore. No more volatility. We take that on, and that's a bit of math, a bit of risk management, all exciting work in our world.
Wow. Okay.
They're just hilarious.
Great show.
Good show. My favorite show.
Be sure to share the podcast on your favorite social media channels.
Thank you for tuning into
The Lead Pedal Podcast with your host, Bruce Outridge, where he talks all things trucking. Now let's get rolling.
And now your host.
All right, so there you go. There's a couple options for you. I think probably the big takeaways there. I mean, Portland Fuels. Yeah, you can go and kind of try to lock in your price of diesel for the next upcoming year or quarter or however long they work there. Someone like Bison, if you're leased onto a carrier, then running on their program and understanding how they negotiate their fuel costs will be a big way of saving fuel for you. I think at the end of the day, what you really want to do is you want to get into the habit of asking, what are you guys using and how are you using it and how can I best use it? You'd be surprised how many owner-operators don't follow the company program or don't follow, some of the steps that they have put in place, and they're successful for a reason because they're managing many, many trucks. And so if you think you're going to have better borrowing power than a Bison at the fuel pumps, you're mistaken. But looking at all the different programs that are out there, and if you're not affiliated with a fleet or you don't want to do something like hedging your fuel ahead of time, just looking at all the different spots of where you fuel and what are they offering. Is that Fuel Stop offering you a discount if you give them all of your loyalty there? Are they giving you other, a free meal? All little ways of maybe saving a few bucks while you're on the road goes a long way. So anyway, there you go. You can go and listen to both of those if you want to listen to the whole ones again. The Portland Fuel was episode number 950, and the Fueling with Bison, Robin Zoo was one of the bonus programs through Bison. So if you search those on our website, you can listen to the whole thing. If you want to listen to more of the interviews that we had there, but those are just some snippets I thought to help you save some fuel. And we're talking business this month, so it's pretty important there. So there you go. Hopefully that helps. Hopefully that works for you. And you know what? The best thing you can do is to just follow us. That's right. We're going to try and keep giving you information. Follow us on your socials. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, LinkedIn, X, YouTube, and of course you can get the podcast on your popular podcast platform. All right, I'm your host, Bruce Outridge. Thanks for being with us today. Thanks for listening, and we know that we'll see you guys later, so be safe out there on the road, and we will catch you next time. Bye for now, everybody. Have a good one.
This has been another episode of the Lead Pedal Podcast. For more information or to subscribe to the podcast, visit theleadpedalpodcast.com and be sure to follow the podcast on Facebook and Twitter.